Hi guys, and welcome back, and this is the track breakdown for none other than the Lorna Shore single, Sun Eater.
Sun.
Long awaited. I did a reaction last week, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. That's definitely more my initial superficial reaction. But this one, going a bit more in depth, I've listened to the track about 10 times at this point, so it's all I'm hearing in my head. And the initial dopamine spike from the first listen is gone now, and now I'm sort of objectively thinking about the track and my thoughts on it. And of course, with this review, I had to wear the good old Lorna Shore hoodie. Yep, you've probably seen this on the channel enough now, but yeah, I still love this goddamn hoodie. One of my best purchases ever, and the fact that it's limited edition just puts that cherry on top as well. But anyway, we're gonna jump right into this track breakdown. So if you liked the video, give it a like, and of course, subscribe for more content such as this. But let's do this. So as always on these track breakdowns, I'm going to tell you what's new about the track, what I liked and what I didn't like about the track as well, and a verdict at the end. So to quickly go over what's new, honestly, there's not much new about this track. For good reason, it's not been that long since the EP dropped, so I think if there was going to be a huge change, I think that would be quite jarring. So they kept it pretty much the same as their past EP. Like, it's definitely a part of that whole package of the Will Ramus saga, let's call it. Vocals are still insanely insane. The drums are crushing. The guitars are just as powerful. But what is new, and I had to listen to the song a couple of times and compare it to the last EP, is that the mix has changed a little bit. Firstly, it is louder than the last EP, and secondly, it is a lot more compressed, specifically on the vocal side. So those are the two main things I noticed. Barring that, we have the use of, I guess, the Emperor style vocal. Well, that's the closest I'm gonna get to, kind of describing it on the pre-breakdown, pre-main breakdown, because there's two breakdowns in here. But besides that, it is kind of for the course for this band. Yeah, that's what was new, at least as far as I can tell. Moving on to what I liked. Okay, what I liked. The intro. And when I mean the intro, I mean the atmospheric intro. For lack of a better word, it was magical. We had our violins, we had our choir, and the best way I could describe it is, this feels like a soundtrack piece from Lord of the Rings. It has that vibe to it, that magical, nature that just teleports me to a big field, or I'm in the Shire, or I'm walking to Mordor. I don't know what about it. It just has this real epicness to it. Or if you've watched Berserk or read the manga, it felt like that as well. I love it. I like that bands really want you to get into sort of a mood and get teleported to a state of mind almost before, they actually kick off the song. And I really like that. Another thing I liked? Both breakdowns. The breakdowns this time just had a lot more impact to me than last time. Usually with this band, on their breakdowns, they have a lot of double kick work done during the breakdown, while there's like sort of a one note held from the guitar section. This time they sort of really locked that up. They all locked it up, where the drums were heavily following the guitar and the bass. It felt like a more of a traditional breakdown. And on top of that, they had more accented sub drops with it just to give more weight.
Heavyweight! Yeah, buddy!
And those sub drops are also used throughout the song to sort of give an indicator of transitioning from one section to the next. I love the chorus as well. Anthemic, big, powerful, loud. Very reminiscent of all the other choruses they've done in the previous 3 tracks, where it's like an opening moment. It's anthemic, as I said, and it just feels like you're coming out of a cave and into the light. Really cool. And finally, on the main breakdown, I liked the build-up on it. I liked hearing the toms getting a moment to shine with those really pounding tom hits. As well as Will Ramus doing his Emperor-style vocals. I thought it was a nice touch. It reminded me a bit of the track IMMORTAL from their previous album, where on the last section of the song, CJ went into this whole Emperor style vocals, which was a really nice touch. It's a really nice touch here. It just breaks up, I don't want to say monotony of Will Ramos's vocals, but it definitely adds a new flavor that just, you know, makes your ears perk up a bit more. All right, now coming into the part that'll probably get me killed, and that is the stuff I didn't like about the song. So the main thing for me is that this got louder from the last EP. Now, some people might like that, but I feel like we're entering the next era of the loudness wars where louder is better, which is not true, because what's happened now is because they've pushed the loudness on this, it's added a lot more to some sections, specifically Will Ramos's vocals. Because of that, I found that there was a bit of loss in clarity in his voice, and instead of having this very big, open sound and everything being clean, it just sounded a bit distorted this time, which, bit annoyed about that. Similarly with the drums, they're compressed to another level this time, to the point where I feel like we lost a good bit of low end. As such, there was a loss of weight to the overall impact that a lot of sections were having.
Wait, baby!
Another thing, the bass guitar, God forbid, I don't think I heard any bit of it.
Captain, no space. Not a sound.
I listened to the song on both YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. I've listened to the song on pretty much every platform to see if there's any difference. I even dropped it into my DAW. Honestly, the bass it's probably there, but I'm struggling to hear it. And finally, the one point that a lot of people commented on my reaction, which was my take on the guitar solo, which not many people liked. I'm kind of sticking to it because I went back and listened to the Immortal solo. I listened to the Funeral Moon solo from Flesh Coffin. I listened to the HELLFIRE solo. I listened to so many solos that they did, and they all tend to have a same pattern to them, which is a lot of noodling, a lot of just fast-paced guitar work. Nothing wrong with that, and I think Adam is an amazing guitarist, but I feel like we can do something a bit different. We can maybe slow it down and let a lot more of the notes breathe, because fast is good, but it's sometimes to have a nice contrast with that. So overall, what do I think about this track? Well, I think this is their weakest track from the new era.
They ask you how you are, you say that you're fine. No, really sorry. You just can't get into it.
Okay, now before you kill me, before you hunt me down, before you go and polish your pitchforks to come and get me, what I'm going to say about that is that this band has set a bar so high at this point. The previous EP, and specifically the track To the HELLFIRE, reached #1 on the metal charts with no push of the band. Just naturally, it went to #1.
All organic.
And when you have such a peak like that, yes, it's gonna be hard to beat that. It's difficult to beat something that's apparently the best. This, I feel, was bound to happen. A band can't constantly put out a song and expect it to be 10 out of 10 every time. With that, I'm not saying that this song is bad. I think it's a great song. But when we look at the bar that the band has set, this feels like their weakest track out of the 4 from the Will Ramos era of Lorna Shore. But I don't know, that's just how I felt about it. But as I said, this is still a great song. I still think it's a very high quality song and one of the better songs you'll find in the deathcore genre. In fact, this band, every track they've put out has been showing that deathcore does have a new standard for what is good, and there's not many bands that can compete with them. Maybe Shadow of Intent is another option, or Fit for an Autopsy, but still, Lorna Shore is one of the top. But anyway, those are my detailed thoughts on the new track. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of the track? It's been a week. Has your opinion changed? Have you thought about it differently, the new song? And also, if you were to rank this with the other 3 tracks that we got from the EP, where would this fall under? So write that down below. But anyway, besides that, thank you for watching, stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!